I have to say, excuse the towel on my head. I'm trying out this new hair thing where you make it very curly and it requires me to put it in a towel, so I thought I'd make a second video today discussing anxiety, especially in this time, not too much dwelling on negativity of what's going on in the world, but bringing a bit of positivity. And I thought I'd do that while I was just getting my makeup ready, preparing for the day. It's currently Thursday, and today I've woken up and done a really nice yoga session listening to a self-love podcast, actually. Yeah, it just sort of inspired me to sit down and do another one. I'm sorry the lighting's not great, the camera's not great. These are all being recorded on my phone. I'd like to invest in like a nice camera. Maybe you guys can message me like good cameras to use, but yeah, it's just going to be a short video. I didn't wake up feeling too anxious, but it's always a hum that happens in the background for me personally. And one of the ways that I conquer that is just kind of treating myself to nice things and taking time in the morning to make a routine. Part of that routine is having a nice shower. This morning it was actually a cold shower. And today I used some products that I really love. I just thought I'd show you. They're called Fengel. They smell amazing. I think they're a bit more on the pricey side, but I'd say they're really worth it. They can be bought in like pharmacies and things like that. I don't know if you can get them in Boots or Superdrug, but I know you can get them in pharmacies. Like I say, they're a bit more pricey, but just puts me in a better mood, and little things like that can really improve the way we're feeling. I'm going to start, I've moisturised my face, I'm just going to put a bit of primer on. I just use a cheap MUA Banana Blur primer, which I really like. I'm not putting foundation on at the moment just because I'm getting quite a nice tan from the sunshine in quarantine. Anxiety is something that has always been present in my life, and it's definitely subsided as I've got older, which is fantastic, but it's still very much present. So I just wanted to talk about my experience and how I kind of tackled that as a youngster. I'm just putting a bit of nip and fab Viper Venom eye fix under my eyes. So as a child I was very nervous. I used to be very worried about little things like PE and cooking, and I was really fearful of ICT for some reason, and I had a terrible fear of supply teachers. And I think I drove my parents, they didn't know what to do, because I was just so upset every morning about having to go. And I loved school, I loved my friends, but I just couldn't. There was just some things that I just couldn't seem to cope with, and supply teachers was one of those. I had this fantastic teacher who gave me a worry journal, which I used to write in every day, and I used to say how worried I was about, for example, PE ICT out of 10. And let's say I said it's going to be 7 out of 10. It's going to be so scary. And then at the end of the day, I'd reflect on it and I would write what it really was. And of course, as you can expect, it was always less than what I always felt like it was, which just gave me kind of like it slowly made me realise and mature into the fact that things weren't as scary or as life-threatening as they felt. Because really it did feel like the end of the world if, I was worrying about getting my PE kit or something. I don't know. I used to worry about everything. So do message me and share with me if that's something you've also experienced. I'm just putting a tiny bit of concealer on because I've just got a few breakouts. But I'm really enjoying the freckles that are popping up in quarantine, so that's cool. That really helped, a worry journal. So if you've got young people who are experiencing that, I would really recommend it. And just committing to it every day and making sure it's something that you give the time to. We give time to things that we care about, and that should be a priority, our health, our mental health. As I moved into my older years, it subsided, like I said, but the way I experience it now is much more socially. For example, on a Sunday night, you might have seen my post, on a Sunday night, I always get so nervous, I get so anxious. And even in quarantine, interestingly, I've been getting really anxious on a Sunday night. Worried about the week ahead, and I spoke on the phone to a friend about it, and she said, that's definitely an element of anxiety. So it still sits with me even today, which is which is fine. And I find this as well. You might find that you're feeling like you're always comparing yourself to people, and maybe you're somebody who goes very quiet in a group, or maybe you're someone who gets very loud if they're very nervous and anxious. But I think socially a lot of us can experience anxiety because it's the sort of environment where we're made to feel uncomfortable. We're put in a situation that we're not used to, which is being around lots of people that we don't know, or that we feel we don't know. And it can be especially challenging when a lot of the people do know each other. So you're one of the new people to the group, or maybe you're a friend of a friend. That can be quite challenging. And I think as we get older, those are the sort of anxieties that can kind of inflate rather than subside. So just know that you're not alone if you're experiencing that. Lots of people do. And also, obviously, workload is something that comes up as we get older. So the kind of the shift of anxiety can change. The shift of what we worry about changes, but the feeling is still there. So how do we tackle the feeling? That's the problem. And that's something that I hope I could talk about more on this platform. Even as we get older, worry journals can be really, really useful. And really just giving yourself time to focus on yourself. I think a lot of us just rush around and do this for that person, and before we've even sat down we think, I'm going to do that. Force yourself to, have an evening to yourself, have time to yourself, invest in things like, like I've said, like nice products that you really like, smells that help. I've got a really lovely incense burner in my room, candles, lighting can be lovely, fairy lights and all these sorts of things can be really lovely to have. So just as we get older, prioritise ourselves and our well-being as we would if we had a physical illness, because mental health is getting, a lot more attention these days. Ooh, that is very curly. Wow. Look at that. Cool. So, I hope everyone is having a lovely day. I hope everyone's having a lovely quarantine and enjoying the sunshine. I know that I'm going to be going for a walk today, which is going to be really helpful for my mental health. Get yourselves out, have a walk, text a friend you haven't spoken to in a while, do something new. Like I've just done my hair in this new style, I just felt like it, and now, it's going to make me feel more confident during the day. Little things like that can be really helpful. Set yourself small, approachable goals. And talk to people if you're feeling low. Talk to people if you're feeling down. Message me. I'm always here. If you're watching this, you haven't got no one because you've got me. So just know that you've got at least me. And let's work together and let's move through this journey of self-love and self-care. Have a wonderful day, weekend. Have a drink, and cheers to investing your time into this video for yourself, for self-love, and I'll see you for the next video. judging people, even though it might be subconscious and something that you don't really condone, judging people, but you might be doing it subconsciously and then look back and think, oh, I was really judging those people, which was why I felt so uncomfortable in their presence.